the video footage from UVU submitted by Blake Bednarz is fake. These are the two files that I added to Logic Pro. Okay. This top one here is the audio from Blake's video. Okay. This one here is the audio from the other video that I found on X. All right. So this is Charlie's right. This is Charlie's left. Okay. Now, just to make sure that we were getting an apples to apples comparison, okay, I went here and added my VU meter, and I don't want to bore you guys too much with the nerd talk. All right. But using this meter, I was able to zero each of the files so that even though they are at different volumes, the sound of the shot will peak at 0 on both. All right. And I'm just going to play some of that real quick.
Violence. Great.
So you guys can see when the shot rings out, both of my meters hit 0. Now I'm going to solo each of these just so you guys can see what I'm talking about. Okay. This is the video from the right side of Charlie, the video that I found on X.
Violence. Great.
You can see this audio, when the shot rings out, clips at about 3.7 dB over 0. All right. So this audio is distorted, basically. It's over 0. It's clipping. Okay. And if I go to Blake's audio,
Violence. Great.
Blake's audio, which is clearly distorted, you can hear it distorting from the video, right? The speakers are, it almost sounds like the speakers are blown. But this audio only comes up to -7. Okay. So the louder sound is 10, 11 dB quieter than this quieter sound. Okay. And we can clearly see, if you don't know anything about audio, you can just look at these files and tell not only are they different, but this top video, which is Blake's audio here, is significantly bigger than the video from camera right. Okay. So how is the bigger signal quieter than the smaller signal? Makes no sense. Okay. So that was the first red flag to me. All right. Now, I am going to make this a little bigger. And this area right here is the shot. Okay. And I almost have them lined up perfectly. You can even see here how close these two are to each other. Okay. But the shot is completely different. All right. This top one here, we have what we should expect from a rifle. Okay. A loud sound followed by a long reverb tail. All right. That's exactly what we would expect, especially in an amphitheater. All right. That makes perfect sense. And then here we have what looks like a clap. And just so we're on the same page here, that this top one is actually what a rifle shot would look like, I also added a video from Paramount Not So Tactical. Okay. And I'll play that real quick. And this video is actually of Paramount Tactical basically debunking himself, because he's been one of the biggest parrots of the official narrative. But you can see this shot here, very similar to Blake's audio. Okay. Hopefully that tracks with you guys and I'm not losing you here. Now, let's play each of these pieces of audio by themselves one more time. This is Blake's audio.
Violence. Great.
Okay. Clearly sounds like a rifle, right? Let's play the video from camera right.
Violence. Great.
Now, does not take a genius to know those audio files are completely different. Okay. The sounds are completely different. One sounds like a rifle. The other one sounds like a firecracker. Okay. Actually, I thought it kind of sounded like a harpoon, right? It's a sharp sound, almost like a bow and arrow. Okay. Not this loud rifle bang that we would expect if Charlie was in fact shot with a bolt action rifle. Now, here's why I think Blake's audio is the audio that's fake. Okay. And I don't know if you guys remember this, but a couple months ago, Baron Coleman actually did a video on this where he brought up, I think, almost 25 eyewitness accounts here that almost all of them agree that what they heard that day sounded like a firecracker. It did not sound like a rifle coming from behind them. And if you watch the footage, it actually corroborates what they're saying, because most of the people in the audience don't turn around when the shot rings out. All right. They look at Charlie, they uh kind of analyze and like realize what's happening to him, and then they immediately duck. All right. So only a few people in the audience that actually turn around, and that's a different story. But Baron Coleman actually covered this. Okay. And I'm gonna play a little bit of this.
I showed a few clips the other night of people saying what they heard. I wondered how many more there were. We just spent a little bit of time, a few hours, and dug and dug and dug, and were able to find out what witnesses were saying at the scene. Listen here to what Henry Dells says he heard.
And to be honest, it sounded like what a lot of people have been saying. It sounded like a firecracker. I didn't think it sounded like a hunting rifle, to be honest, just because I was raised from East Texas, hunted a lot. It sounded like some type of tactical, whatever AR or something.
Sound like an AR,
like a crack.
Okay.
But that's just my opinion. When I think of a hunting rifle, I think of a hunting rifle boom, not a crack. You know what I mean?
He heard a firecracker or a lighter caliber weapon.
At first, it, like I told you, kind of like in the interview at the campus, it didn't sound like what the audio makes it clearly sound like. You keep like when you listen to the audio, it's like, how does someone mistake that for a firecracker? No, in person, it sounded like a firecracker. Like, because you can even look at the crowd, and at first they're confused. They didn't, think that it was a gunshot that went off.
It sounded like a firecracker. It didn't sound like it does on the audio. It didn't sound like it does on the audio. Here is someone who was a little farther back. Here is her recollection of what she heard.
And
yes.
What did that sound like when the shot was fired? And could you tell where it came from?
It came from behind me. I believe it came from one of the upper buildings. It wasn't very loud. It sounded almost like fireworks. So at first, I didn't think it was real, and a lot of the people around me didn't realize what was going on either.
This is Hunter Kozak saying, Kozak told the Tribune he immediately sensed what happened. It sounded like a firecracker. I thought it was fired 2 feet away from me. It was so loud. Well, where was Hunter Kozak standing? He was the closest person in the building, in the entire facility. He was the very closest person to Charlie Kirk. And he thought it was fired 2 feet away from him. It was so loud. Now, this woman standing 30 or 40 feet away says it didn't sound very loud. It just sounded like a firecracker. Which raises the question, who was closer? Who was closer? Because if she's right, she actually is closer, and it should be louder to her. It shouldn't be louder to Hunter, who was farther away from it than she was. It should be louder to the people closer to the building, 30 or 40 feet back that way, a third of the way to the guy shooting. Now, this is what's interesting to me, because we talk about Hunter Kozak saying it was super loud. We talk about the people farther away from Hunter Kozak saying that it wasn't very loud. Now we're going to hear from people who were standing right under the Losi Center. Listen to what they say they heard. Let's see if I can turn captions on here. I don't know if I have captions on this. I'll tell you what they said if you can't hear it. Right there, he said, geez, it was down there. He says, it was down there.
The shot came from down there?
And then woman says, the shot came from down there? And he says, yeah, it came from down there. Now, these people are standing right near the Losi Center on a balcony of the Sorensen Center, like literally not too many feet away. In the immediate aftermath, their understanding of what happened was it came from down there. The shot came from down there.
Now, guys, I'm just going to ask you this question. All right. Look at these two audio files. You tell me which one looks like a firecracker. Okay. It's clearly this video or this audio that came from the video from Charlie's right side, if we're looking at Charlie. Okay. Which audio file matches the 25 eyewitnesses who claim they heard what sounded to them like a firecracker? All right. It's this one. Okay. It also makes sense that this file is actually distorted and is louder than 0. Okay. So it's clipping because this sound would have been really loud coming from a camera that took that sound. Okay. Or it captured that audio. It makes no sense that this audio,
Violence. Great.
which if it's a bolt action rifle, should be louder than the sound of a firecracker, and yet this audio is 11 dB quieter than the audio from camera right. So what does this mean? Well, to me, it means that somebody baked this audio of a bolt action rifle shot into the video that UVU sent to Blake Bednarz. Blake has a video from UVU, okay? How he got it, I don't really care. Doesn't matter to me. He supposedly got it from UVU. We have confirmation from someone from UVU messaging Blake, telling him he shouldn't have this footage, right? So someone gave it to him, okay? And this video has altered audio of a bolt action rifle. Now, why would somebody do that? Maybe it's because they want us to believe the official story that Tyler Robinson shot Charlie Kirk with a bolt action rifle from almost 200 yards away. But not only the audio from the other camera, okay, but the eyewitnesses themselves completely debunked that story. Again, like I said in the beginning, I've been doing this for a long time as far as music's concerned, okay? We can debate about who was there and motive and was TPUSA in on it and Fort Huachuca. None of that matters to me anymore. This is smoking gun proof, no pun intended, okay? The audio does not lie. The eyewitness accounts support the fact that the audio does not lie. Whoever sent Blake Bednarz this footage embedded fake audio into the recording.